Peace to all of the kings and queens that's out there. It is the MOSHOW 13th letter to the cipher, and we are back in the building. How you all doing today? Me, been doing a lot of reading, lots of reading and working on regular life problems, okay? Like everyone else out there. I hope that you all are doing well today. And I hope that you all are still out there watching this back channel and continuously doing your thing that you promised yourself that you would do for this Black History Month in regard to the upliftment of yourself, your family, your neighbors, your neighborhood. Okay. I wanted to also bring out a suggestion box. If you all have questions once a week, maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, we'll just make it a Sunday. If you all have any questions in regards to topics or that which I speak about, please, by all means, Sunday would be the time that they would be discussed. I'm sorry. In fact, it would be the next day. You don't have to wait to Sunday. But we all get busy. But seeing that I'll be on here every day, at least to the end of February, then afterwards, you'll catch me dropping some pieces, maybe 3-4 times a week. You know, I have to regenerate, but not only regenerate, continuously develop my mind and cultivate it. And some of that is done through reading. I'm just saying. What do you all think about that guy? What's his name? Gary Martin, the black guy that went crazy, in Aurora, because they fired him after 15 years. He worked for some manufacturing company. I mean, people are just not having it anymore. And it's just not black, white. People put their lives on the line every day to get there. Let's get that started. And then they're underpaid. That's two. And then after they invest their life in this thing, and then someone can just put a banana peel up under your foot and take you out. Or if they don't like you, they can just be done with you and you fired. So we are quite sure that those who are or were in conspiracy to have this man fired, well, those initial 5 people are dead, okay? He may have died. He may have died. But do you respect him? Do you respect him? Think about that. Anyway, what else is happening here? The other day, I mentioned something about Carter G. Woodson and how he made over 300 products from the peanut. Well, you think about it, right? How much of his brain did he use? You see? Think about that. Black man, black woman, think about that. Think about all of the people that I've been informing you of. What has been their mindset? What were they doing that? What is it that they were doing that you were not doing or is not doing? And they had less of what you had. Can anybody explain to me? I mean, I'm kind of lost here. So if you have some suggestions, excuse me, please let me know. Okay. I just feel like the man used over 10% of his brain. They say that the average person uses 10% of their brain. Well, I mean, well, think about the guy who only went to 6th grade and made the traffic light. Who was that? Garrett Morgan. Yeah, think about that. 6th grade. 6th grade. Now, if I had it my way, I would prefer that you homeschool your children. I mean, after we get into a little small piece here, I'm going to ask you a question anyway regarding that. This is just a note on Gary Martin. Yeah, Gary Martin. Plus, we got all natural products, right? Now, I understand that we have to eat. We have to use antiseptics, and we have to maintain our body. But in the same time, let's go sometimes or use a alternative choice than what the FDA recommends, because the FDA has approved some ill shit that will fuck you up. Okay. So, just think about that. Black History Month. For all of you marijuana smokers out there. Yeah. That includes a lot of us, doesn't it? I'm just saying, right? But they're actually adding something to that marijuana as well. Think about that. I mean, I heard a brother talk about it, and then I did some little research myself. But of course, they're not going to tell you, but if you just look at it for what it is, for common sense. Why would they put something in the marijuana? Why not? Why not? To kill you all. It's just like with the birth control thing that I spoke to you all about, and how the birth rate went down in regards to the Black community, and the young Black women were taking all of these birth control. But not only was it controlling that birth for that particular time that she was using those contraceptives, well, it was for a lifetime, okay? Because it fucked up her fallopian tubes, ovaries, all of that. So it could not be far-fetched in regards to the marijuana. Just think about that. Just food for thought, It's not like back in the day when we had the old sesame, When we had the old sesame, we had the old bud, that red clay, regular skunk, but weed is now like 80 times percent more potent than what it was back in the 80s. So, yeah, because they got some shit for your ass. I'm just saying. It's Black History Month. It's Black History Month, and if you are a Black man and a Black woman, you need to be standing up right now. You need to be applauding yourself. You need to be cultivating your mind, and having a positive attitude will not hurt whatsoever. I'm just saying. It takes more energy to have a frown than it does a smile. Okay? I'm just saying. It's President's Day, according to this country. And I may get off on the subject in regard to the presidency issue. I may and I may not. But the first gentleman that we got up on the list right now, Lewis Latimer. He's another great inventor. He was born in Massachusetts, 1848. He went to the Navy at the age of 15? That was in 1863. And afterwards, he worked in the office after he got discharged from the military, which was an honorable discharge. He worked in an office that actually was a law patenting office. Okay, and he made $3 a week. He made $3 a week. And after 7 years, he made $20 a week. Doesn't sound like much money at all, right? Like $20 a week. Like, is this a comic book story or some shit like that? No, this real business. But what he did do with that little $20 a week job he had, he became the head draftsman for that firm. Yeah, and that led him to a lot of other humongous things. Because like in 1874, he wanted to spread his wings. I mean, he got 7 years under his belt. At that time, I guess that was good money. Okay, and he created the toilet. Excuse me. He made an improvement to the toilet on the railroad cars. So once again, he made it better. 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 How can you not say we haven't contributed anything to your convenience? Let's put it that way. Saying that we've made it convenient for you for approximately 300 years. And it's the reason why I want to say that I don't want to say the 400 things, because they get off into some biblical literature versus true history. Okay. But we'll get off into that stuff. I mean, we got a lot of things that's coming up. I'm just getting through this month, and getting you warm. I'm just warming up here, getting your mind cultivated, getting your brain ready. And in that, in 1874, when he improved a new toilet for the railroad cars, and that was called the water closet, by the way. And in 1876, he was employed by whom other than Alexander Graham Bell. And guess what? $20 an hour, huh? But guess what he did? And he did not get credit for this. He did not get credit for this. The man actually drew the blueprint for Alexander Bell phone. Did you get that? Because Alexander Bell couldn't do it himself. That's why he called that man in 1876. It's Black History Month. See, these are people they don't tell you about your geniusness. Really. And that which you have contributed as a whole, as a people, and to them as an individual. Look at where we are today. Look at where we are today. And once again, ask yourself the question, what did they do that we are not doing? Drugs is one, and that's for sure. So please, by all means, Black man, Black woman, please put down the crack cocaine and the heroin and the mollies and the K2, K12, posh, ecstasy. Please put that shit down and rejuvenate your mind. Rejuvenate your mind so that you could possibly decalcify your pineal gland. Oh, yeah, we'll get off into that too. But anyway, do that so that we could, as a whole, rise above, or at least have a chance. Because right now the window is closing, and it's closing at a fast pace, and you all need to wake the fuck up. I'm just saying, because when shit hit the fan, what you gonna do? That's another topic. Just hang in there, you all. Hang in there, my family. And by the way, I want to thank you all for supporting me, giving me encouragement, and viewing the show. Without you, this would not be possible. So I thank you, and I tip my hat to you. Back to Lewis Lattimore. Like I said, back in 1876, what's the man name? Alexander Graham Bell called him to do the blueprints for his phone, because he knew something was missing. But I'm really going to blow your mind later in a minute, though. Yeah, that's what Black manpower can do for you. In 1879, he relocated to Bridgeport, Connecticut, and was hired as an assistant manager draftsman for the U.S. Electrical Lighting Company. Okay. Now, this is what really going to kill you here, because this is where we take a twist at. Now, these are the very same people, this U.S. Electric Lighting Company was actually Thomas Edison's rival. So while Thomas Edison was trying to invent the light bulb, so were these people, and they had scientists on their team as well. But guess what? Thomas Edison did not invent the fucking light bulb. You hear me? He could not get it to last, the fire to last, because he was using a paper filament. But what did the black man do that was over in his competitor's office? Oh. Yeah. He used a carbon filament. And guess what? That changed from darkness to light. All because of a black man. So all of you white people in America, and all you black people, and all of you Chinese people, and all of you Polish people, Russian people, can't forget about them Russians. They always, yeah. Light bulb, and you think that black men have not done anything, and you look down on them as nothing, or you regard them as trash. You think about this the next time you hit a light switch, because Thomas Edison did not do the trick. Okay? It was a black man, and his name was Louis Lattimore, and this took place in 1879. That's right. So you see what happens when you send your children to school? You see how they be miseducated? And you can look that up. You don't have to believe anything I say. By all means, look it up for yourself. No one can refute it. Okay? If you argue with me, you argue with truth. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, he ended up selling that patent to the U.S. electric company that he did work for. And after he sold that patent, he ended up lighting the world over. Not only did he leave Bridgeport, Connecticut doing this thing, he lit up New York, he lit up Philadelphia, he lit up London. And what other place did he light up? Philly, London, New York City, of course, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and some other place I can't remember right now, but that's what he did. And after 2 years of being employed at the U.S. Electric Company, like I say, he discovered the light bulb. I'm just saying. So you all think about that. You think about what your mind can do. He was already, in the invention business with the toilet thing on the train. You see, and like I say, he beat Edison to his own geniusness and what we call the light bulb using carbon filament. So you, white educators, as I said, stop lying to the students. Stop lying to the students and make sure you tell them that on your next Black History Month. Alexander Miles. Alexander Miles, born 1838. Not too much on Alexander Miles, and he died in May 1918. But he was born in Pickaway County, Ohio, and he was a traveling dude. I mean, he went from Pickaway, Ohio. He ended up doing some time in Waukesha, Wisconsin. He did some time in Winona, Minnesota, and finally up in Duluth. But after Duluth, he did move somewhere to Washington, Seattle, Washington. But that's where it ended up at. But when he moved to Waukesha, Wisconsin, he became a barber. He became a barber and worked. And like I say, during his travels, someday in 1887, upon his travels, he made a discovery. I mean, this guy, just think about this. This type of brain activity just does not happen overnight. There is work involved. There's process involved. And sometimes we as people give up when it gets hard. But believe it or not, When you're doing something and you're right at the brink of making a breakthrough, all shit is going to come your way, or something else is not going to happen right to your understanding. So get used to that and get over it, because when you do get over it, you'll go to the next level. You're getting graduated. I'm just saying, you don't have to believe me, but if you don't want to take my word, keep going through life making the same mistakes, and then maybe you'll think about what I said. But anyway, um, sometime in 1887, this man did something very, very great for this country. And you know what that was? He invented the automatic opening and closing of the doors in the elevators. You know, you had, and you say, well, that's not too much of geniusness. Well, if that's not too much of geniusness, why didn't the other person who originally made it thought of it? Okay. I'm just saying, because what he did was, you actually had people in the old elevators, they would leave the rack open and people would actually just fall in after they opened the door to the elevator. They would just fall in without even pulling the rack back because the floor wasn't level. So, I mean, it actually takes some time to make all of this work in order so that you don't get into an elevator and fuck yourself up and fall to the bottom or hurt yourself. The elevator can be half down. If you've ever ridden an old elevator, you'll understand the purpose of what I'm saying. But that's what he did. And he lived a very quiet life. In fact, he was one, when he did move to Seattle, Washington, he was the richest black man on that southeast coast. And I said southeast, well, because southwest coast. And I say west, even though Seattle is north, he was southern in that state or whatever, but it says from Seattle. And that's what the book says. So I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just going to give you what I got. And these are verified, bona fide men that I've been speaking to you about, because actually black people don't really make any books. So all the material that I'm reading to you, some of it is from white books itself and online material that is white sponsored. So there you have it. Alexander Miles. Last guy on the list. He might be the last guy on the list. You know, I really don't. Wow. No one talks about him. He doesn't get any recognition. But I will tell you a true story about, I'll get to it. One day, a friend of mine, his name is Illa Flows. I was an executive producer for a record label. And we end up downtown Studio 11, Chicago. On Lake and Wells, by the way. Yes, Lake and Wells, Studio 11. And we was doing this track called 5 Deadly Venoms. And in doing 5 Deadly Venoms, I was introduced to a young lady by the name of Alexandria. Just so happens Alexandria was a Black Panther chick. Hardcore body, you know, hard body, you know, and she was on her game. But anyway, she was inside. She actually rapped on the song. Yes, clean rap, clean positive message rap. And it was called 5 Deadly Venoms, and I'm not talking about the Chinese 5 Deadly Venoms, okay? But anyway, we was in the studio all night. Me, her, Illa, JR, Alex, Damn, what was the other cat? He moved to Florida. Damn, forgot his name. Felix. Who else was there? But Felix wasn't the guy that moved to Florida. His name was Freddie. Freddie moved to Florida. And there was a whole bunch of us, the Latin divas. So we was in the lab all night. So I ended up giving her a ride back to her place. She stayed up north. Illa was still with me. She stayed up north. I dropped her off. Illa got out and walked her to her door. But when we got to her place of residence, when they got out, somebody jumped in my car. This taking me to the story of the last guy I want to tell you about, whom I give a real special shout out to. So 2 or 3 minutes later, somebody jumps into my car. The Chicago police just blew his house up. He's the son of the individual that I'm speaking of right now, and I'm going to get off into that. And he was waiting for Alexandria to get home so that he could have some place to land for a hot second. Never met him before, but I heard about his dad. Never met his dad either, but I heard about him. And his dad was a powerful, powerful black man. A very prolific speaker. One who made things move. One who was able to make things move. And that's why they killed him, you see. And I know I haven't told you who I'm talking about yet, but I'm going to get to that. But anyway, the brother jumped in my car and told me what the police just did to his house, the Chicago police. And we was over there on the north side, I want to say by Wilson and Devon. By Wilson and Devon. Wilson and Devon? Wilson and Devon. Something like that. It was on the north side. Right off, yeah. Right off Western and Wilson. So yeah, Devon's up in that way. Anyway, the man jumped in my car and he like, yo, let's go. So the next thing I know, here comes Alexandria and Illa. So it's 4 of us and he giving us a story. And he left me his phone number, gave me his card, told me to call him. Been in contact with him ever since. I don't get to see him as often. And I'm sure he's lost my number because I've got new numbers. But I still know how to contact him. And he was actually on the shore before. And I ended up running into him in another place when I was with Robber Money. Shouts out to Robber Money, by the way, the Money crew. But they killed his dad, and his dad was only 21 years old. 21 years old, and he died for all black men and women across America. He was 21 years old. He was from, he was born in actually Summit, Illinois, but he grew up in Maywood, Illinois, and went to Proviso East High School over there on First Avenue. So if you're from Chicago, you know where Proviso East is at, right there on First Avenue in Madison in Chicago. Excuse me, in Maywood. And he graduated with honors. Soon afterwards, he got with the NAACP. He got with the now at this time he's 18. He just graduated from high school. And he's doing speeches. He's encouraging gangs, rival gangs, to squash the beef and let's make a movement towards peace and unity. He told white people how he really felt. He told white people how he really felt. White America at the age of 18. And on top of that, after this graduation from high actually enrolled into Triton College out there in River Grove. And his major was pre-law. According to the story, he took pre-law because he wanted to end the white supremacy. He really did. And he was so profound. He was so profound in his words. At 18, when he got to 21, they couldn't do nothing with him. He became a threat. J. Edgar Hoover wanted him to be dealt with. So did the Chicago State's Attorney's Office. So did the Chicago Police. And he was born in 1948. August to be exact. After he gathered over 500 gang members and other residents to participate in nonviolent Black unity, Black power, and told the government what he felt. No hesitation. How many of you all can do that today? And no, I know I haven't told you who I'm talking about. But he died for you, and that should mean something for you. To you. Excuse me. That should mean something to you. At 21. Look how many people die in the street right now, especially young Black men die in the street at the age 21 over bullshit. Over bullshit. And the police didn't kill them. Another Black man looked like them killed them. And it saddens me that nobody even talks about the man during Black History Month or any other time for that matter. I mean, some people do because we have people out there on that wavelength like I am. But I'm saying average, ordinary people don't talk about this man. And that saddens me. But anyway, after he got with the NAACP and he started doing his thing and became the leader for the youth organization in that in the NAACP, in that department, he was the leader for that department, which is the youth organization. Soon afterwards, he heard of something, a crew, a band of men and women that were Black that was actually doing something positive for the upliftment of Black people. And that group, that Black power group that caught his attention was none other than the Black Panther Party. And he became the leader for the chapter of the party here in Chicago. When that chapter was over there on Madison and Western. And they killed him actually a block or two away on the 2300 block of Monroe. They shot his friend, his brother in the strife, Mark Clark. That's who the police blasted him away, blasted him straight in his chest as soon as they kicked the door in. It was a wrap. And you had this other guy whose name was William O'Neill, whom the feds actually used as an infiltrator. And he made the deal with them because he was on some warrants and wanted some other charges that he had to be dropped. So he became an informant for the feds in the Black Panther Party in the Chicago chapter, and he actually became the bodyguard for none other than Fred Hampton. Shouts out to Fred Hampton, you all. Shouts the fuck out to Fred Hampton. They went in there and murdered that man in his sleep. Not to mention that William O'Neill put something in his drink, like some sleep dose, some snooze drink. The shit y'all be using today. You know what I'm saying? It was going on back then, and it was gay, and this was given to him by the feds to give to Fred Hampton. So when the feds came in and the Chicago police and all of the rest of the Klansmen who wanted that young man dead, 21, who spoke for Black people in America, that's Fred Hampton. Tell your children about Fred Hampton. Tell your children how or what a revolutionary looks like. Watch some of the videos by Fred Hampton if you haven't. Hopefully you'll learn something from that. I got a lot of other things coming up. Once again, shouts out to Fred Hampton. I got a lot of other things coming up. I want to talk to you about a lot of things, and I will. And tomorrow we got some more better things. I wanted to get off into this John Hanson thing for this President Day issue. However, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick. You got this black guy. Now, I say that Barack Obama was not the first black president of the United States. And you have a lot of people that agree with me on that. Lots of people. But then you got this brother that comes out of nowhere. A brother, do you hear me? He's just more. And if you understand history, you can understand what the Moors did to black people for the white man. And if you look at paintings of George Washington and stuff like that, you'll see the little black Moor dude, okay? However, the Moors did do something good. They did conquer Spain, and their legacy is still left there today. So shouts out to the Moors for that. But other than that, they sold us the fuck out. So his response or his perspective on this John Hanson issue, you know what I'm saying? It makes you think about his position. But anyway, he said that he pulled up some footage in regards to a coloring, and he gave me a story of how the blackface could not have been on the back of the $2 bill because of how it could have been on the back of the $2 bill because of the coloring with the paper and the ink and all of that good stuff. Well, if that was the case, all of them should have been black. Should none of them been white, okay? Then he comes up with this color copy that they got of this black and white image on the back of the $2 bill, and there's no black guy there, but it's all white. And he's going to tell me something about some shading, some sun. He had a good script and everything. But he asked me a question too. And he asked me this. He said, Mo, even if John Hanson was the first black president, like you said, in 1781. Excuse me, 1776 to 1781. Yeah, because yeah, there was 11-year gap after America got her freedom from the British. Okay, and there was no one to fill the position as the leader. They immediately chose this black man by the name of John Hanson to fill that position, and he was a Moor. Others say that he was some senator over in Liberia. But you have to add up the years and do the math. And to tell you the truth, none of the numbers work out for neither one of them. But he took me to the Library of Congress, Information and Freedom Act, and he pulled up some stamps on me. I couldn't fight that one. But let me ask you this. I asked him this, though. If the United was if the United was not called the United States, but they were the United States, and why did they change their name? Why did they change their name? Well, they changed the name because they had to come up with a new because the old Constitution was the Articles of Confederation. And just so happens, as I stated, it was a black president under this Articles of Confederation. But then he asked the question, he posed a good question to me, though. He said, even if there was a first black president that you say is John Hanson, and he was president, and there were slaves, why he didn't free the slaves? Wow, blew me away. And then I thought about Barack Obama. I said he didn't do shit either. And we both laughed. So there's a battle going on right now about that. But that's just for President's Day. And if there's anything that you all like that I've said in this video or any of my former videos, by all means, press that subscribe button, press that like button, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighborhood. And like I say, you don't have to wait till Sunday. I was going to wait till Sunday because it's going to get busy. But I can do it. I can do it whenever I get online and I see your questions. I answer them if I can at that time. If I can't, if I have to do some more research, I'll let you know that I've saw it, that I've acknowledged your question, and I'll get back to you in regards to that question. Is that cool, family? Peace on that. That's what it is. What else I want to talk about here? Anything else, family, I want to give you all tonight? I think that's it for tonight. But I want you all to elevate your mind, elevate your consciousness, elevate your thinking, elevate your vocabulary, and stay away from the police. I'm just saying, it's open season on niggas. Not niggers, but niggas. You understand? It's open season. So we have to be very, very, very careful. And by the way, with the same thing that happened to Fred Hampton, when we all become unified, or even some, that's why you have to move in small numbers, man. Because you're always going to have some dickhead, some goddamn Sambo ass nigga. Not niggas, but niggas. A nigger. Okay? So you all be careful out there when you're doing this movement thing, okay? And by the way, by all means, stay intelligent, love yourself, stop that self-hating, and we'll see you tomorrow. We got 12 days left, Black History Month, and then we're off into another sphere. Yes, a whole nother dimension. So you all remember that, and once again, thank you all for watching. 13th letter to the cipher. You all have a great evening. Don't drink and drive. Peace.